ado, I will hand it over to Gurinderbir. Thank you so much for joining us and for giving us this whole series. He's taking his time out of his day and is a really key Bhangra asset in the world. He has a lot of knowledge, a lot of interesting ways on how he can teach better than anyone else I know. So we're all very lucky to have his experience here teaching. So Gurinderbir, thank you so much. I'll pass it over to you and go ahead and you can start with the Luddi recap. I think you're on mute, Paji. Maybe take yourself off. Yeah.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes, you're good now.
Thank you, Lavesh, and thanks everyone joining for our third workshop. Where, as Lavesh mentioned, that I'm going to I will do the full recap of Luddi, but first I will show you the name of this step is Calm Luddi. I showed it some of those who joined in our last workshop, but somehow Zoom did not record it. So that is pretty powerful step. And those who want to perform this step with me, just make sure that you warm up first. So I'm going to do the same thing, and then I will switch gear toward Dhamaal. So Dhamaal 1, Dhamaal 2, Dhamaal 3, and then there's another, we used to call it simple Dhamaal, then I will cover that too. But anytime, once I finish Calm Luddi, then I will perform some of the Luddis that I performed in the previous workshop on a Uppy Gill's recorded volume. We want to capture that as well. But if you have any questions, please use the chat box and type your questions. And those who have not turned on your cameras, please, even if you are not going to perform, at least it will be I'm not talking to blank screens. You can just watch me, and I would like to see more faces on the screen. That would be awesome, rather pictures. Let me do, before I start the workshop, let me do a kind of a test because I moved my stuff in the basement. So just want to make sure that everybody could hear the music well. So then I will start it. And give me thumbs up or use the chat box, depending upon how you can hear the sound. Seems like it's good. Okay, perfect. So what I will do that for the Dhamaal segment, I will show you all the Dhamaals on tool because I have the recorded version of my Master Jankraji. So, and then I will show you how to do all the most of the Dhamaals on a song as well. So starting with the first step, its name is Calm Luddi, and Lavesh, you can type it in the chat box. It's a Gham. That's how I would, you can say spell it. Gham, Calm Luddi. So let me show you 4 variations of that one. So it is a 4-count step. So first 2 variations are standing, and the next 2 variations will be having a squat in it. So if you want to do the squats with me, I would do a kind of a frog squats first to warm up the body, and then the frogs, actual folk squats. And just one thing, it's not excused, but most of my students, they know that I pulled some muscle in my right shoulder. We'll see that how it works when I lift my arm, it kind of starts bothering me, but hopefully everything will be fine. So the first one is the standing version of Calm Luddi, is that you do the 1, starting with the left leg. 1, 2, 3, you tap here, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And don't try to cover that much distance when you do this first variation, because if you keep the distance like a 1.5 of your chest, that should be good. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was the first variation. The second variation is I would do it on the as a diagonal, going from the one corner of the board to the other. So and when I move from 1 to 2, I will drag my foot, mostly toe. So let's say I'm doing a jugni step here, and then, oh, no, excuse me, sorry. It's like a 1. Here I'm doing, and hold it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So I'm dragging my foot on 2 again, 1, and drag your foot all the way here. 1, 2, 1, 2. So you drag mostly your toe all the way there. In this variation of Luddi, you can cover more distance, a little bit more distance than the first variation that I showed you. So again, any step you are doing, for instance here, jugni or chal. So hold 1. So that was the second variation. I can take a quick pause if somebody has any question on both the variations of Luddi. If not, then I can keep going.
If you have any questions, please type them in the chat. I will make sure they're accounted for, but type them in the Zoom chat. Go ahead, Paji. No, okay. Nothing so far.
Okay, perfect. So again, it's a 4-count step. In the first one, you just jump from 1 to left, starting from the right side to left. And then in the second variation, you drag your foot to the other place. So this one is again in the diagonal position. And now I'm going to drag my foot again, but where I'm going to finish it, I'm going to do the squat. So again, let's say I'm doing jugni here. 1, 2. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So make sense now here? So again, slowly, I start my 1 and drag it 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2. Is it good? Okay. So still, could you make a quick request, Lavesh, that if people can turn on their cameras, that would be great.
Yep, sure, Paji. I know some of them messaged me saying they were not able, but I will try to ask if anybody else can.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks. So last is the tough one. I won't take the risk to do it on the floor, kind of a hard floor, but I'll use the mat. So now I'm going back to this one, like 1, 2, 1, 2. But instead of doing it in the standing position, I'm going to jump and squat on 2 and 4. So let's again, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 and 4 will be kind of a frog squat. I think my legs are a little bit warm up. and I'll try. So again, so 1, 2, hold it. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, hold it. 1, 2, hold it. 1, 2, hold it. 1, 2. So if you want to do it, make sure that you're pretty warm up. So again, you do here 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So needs a lot of energy here. Any questions here? So these were the 4 variations of calm Luddi. Those got missed, I think, in the last class. I can add, I think, 2 more variations. And if we don't have any questions, so one is, these 2 are pretty simple. And those are like 1, 2, 1, 2. And the other one is kind of, I forgot the other one, maybe, yeah, other one, I have to remember it. I think the, okay, yeah, 1, 2. So you move on the side. I think once you do that many squats, I think it takes away some of your memory. So again, the first one was, another one. And keep a big smile on your face. And most of the time people do here, please note, just here and here. Try to take your leg all the way back when it hits the ground, or take the feet all the way. So take it one more time. Look, I'm not going to do upper body movement. So my play area is about that big. So I'm going to do first thing here, second count here, so that I can show lateral movement as well. So, and see, I take my leg all the way back, feet, and then I bring it down to add more energy into the step, if it makes sense. And then you bring the upper body movement, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 1, and bring the shoulder movement for shoulder. Shoulder movement is very important. Bring shoulder movement. So whatever the energy you have, try to add into that step. Any questions? Because these were some of the Luddis I wanted to cover. And then I can show you some of the Luddis on Puppy Girl song.
Ajay, let's try these with music if that's I'm sorry, with our tool if we can, just the ones you just did, so that we have a recap from last time.
And then I will add some of the Luddis that I covered in the last one.
Yeah, perfect.
You can go and watch that Luddi video on YouTube, some of these ones. So, and these one, several Luddis we covered in the previous class. And please ask questions, so that would be great.
Awesome. Any questions?
And again, those were some Luddis that we did from the last class. So we did some of those steps. And then some of the recap Luddis that we just did this time, the moving side to side with the squats as well. Those are the new ones we added here. Any questions, please ask. Renee, glad you enjoyed. Please ask if you have on any of the prior Luddis or the new ones that we did today. The ones that we just covered, feel free to ask any questions. I'll wait just a minute if everybody needs like 10 seconds, get some water or something. And if anybody has any questions, I think there's a delay in the chat a little bit, so I'm gonna wait 10 seconds. Very good. Okay. I don't think any one question I had, Paji, for you maybe. This is also one that sometimes comes up when I'm teaching or when I talk to Bhangra dancers sometimes about the foot movement. So would you say that in this Luddi step, whether we're doing 1, 2, or this, you know, the legs back, you were just showing how you bring the leg from back to forward, you know, and then you take a step like Beddi, for those of you familiar with Beddi movement, right? Do you, again, just talking about the legs, not the upper body, but with the legs there, you know, typically Beddi are a little wider, lower, the way you've taught me. Do you see that this way you kicked back is only in this Luddi footwork, or do you also see this kind of kickback footwork in other types of Beddi steps, like, you know, patake, shishe, whatever, we have different names for it, those types? What do you think? How do you use the back versus the wide leg posture?
That's a good question, actually. Um, Depending upon the beat and the move, it depends on the beat and the move. There are, you can say, several steps you can do on a one beat in toe, on toe, like different Chahals, even Jugni, one of the Chahals, Luddi, one of the Chahals. You can do that. Depending upon, again, like here you have a kind of a, you are in a standing position and you can, the toe beat is kind of a, and your position as well, giving you the leverage that you can jump, you can say higher, or take your leg all the way back and then land. But on Bedi, when we cover the Bedi, but so think about that, you are, depending upon how people do Bedi, but the way we do, we go low. Doesn't give you much leverage to take your leg back. Even if you take it, it would look odd.
Right.
Depending upon, like, for instance, you are doing dunkering. But again, that movement is kind of a more a fold movement, taking up and slightly landing. I'm trying to think about a step where you could, yeah, this one is, that's a good example. That we call it Chatari. So one.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the name you call it. Yeah.
Yeah. It varies from region to region.
Yes, yeah.
But most of the people, they will recognize. So depending upon the beat, if the beat is heavy, not faster, so you can do, so you can jump high.
Mm.
Okay, if the beat is faster, then it will, you can jump accordingly.
Yeah.
Does it make sense now?
Yeah, no, great question. I typically don't see the kickback so often in folk Bhangra, but then when you did in Luddi, I saw that it kind of reminded me, I've seen a few times, and the crossover of when it's done and which type of step, it's just something that I'm not also clear on always, but that was very helpful. That was good. I think the slower, if I had to pick maybe the slower the beat, not maybe the slower, but you can say depending on the step, right? That's true. Bedi, you wouldn't do this kind of thing, you know, not very often. But if you're doing this Shisha Tamaka, Chartari that you called, it's just sometimes slower, you're more upright, so it makes more sense to do there, I think.
Depends on the beat as well, because if beat is slower and heavier, like tempo is slow, then it gives you more timing to fold your leg and land. And
yeah, makes sense.
Play on the sides, like going on the sides.
Got you.
It is faster, then it won't, like you have to click 1 and 2 quickly. You may be able to fold, but you won't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I will cover in Dhamaal too. So if there are no questions, then we will move to the next segment, which is Dhamaal.
Yep, I think we're good.
I will take a simple one so that instead of starting from the difficult one, let's start with a simple one. Whenever I start a brand new class of kids or anyone, I always back at PAU as well, when I used to conduct workshops, I always used to start with the Chahal and then simple Dhamaal. So that, because there are so many similar steps we do with the simple Dhamaal, I don't know what people call, what we used to call it simple Dhamaal. It's our name we gave. So it's like just a 1, 2, 1, 2. There are several steps where we just click 1 in the air and 2 in the air. So I'm not going to start at the intermediate level or the beginning level. So you stand on your toe and leg should be in the diagonal position. Don't keep your leg, like the lower part of the leg, hanging like this. Your foot should be like showing towards the kind of a, I don't want to say audience, but kind of a, like this. So 1, 2. So this is called simple Dhamaal. Your hands are like that. And you're 1, 2, 1, 2. Take the leg as high as you can. So here's one thing, Lavesh, for you. Could you do it one more time, and I'll show you what changes you need to make, if you don't mind. And you can put yourself on the spot so that everybody can see it.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, did you say you want me to play with music, do with music or no?
Just simple Dhamaal, the way I just show me the simple Dhamaal. So
okay. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. You have to speak, I think, so that everybody can see you.
Okay. Okay, I'm going now. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Good, good. So you can mute Naresh. So one thing is that just one thing I told everyone, that you taking your leg high, but this part of the leg, most of the time people, they just keep on hanging like that. Leg is high, make sense? But you need to slightly extend it, slightly, not like that, like kicking something, but slightly. It brings the beauty here. And try to hit the diagonals at 1, 2. See, here you're bringing the lower part of the leg high as well and showing the foot like that. A little bit high. Yep, right one was good. Yep, and you put your foot like that, like here, like with the power. Yes, you need some energy to add to your foot as well to keep in this position. So it's kind of it's called simple Dhamaal. So again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So let me show you. I don't have a toe beat specifically. We can do it on Dhamaal 2 beat, but let's do it on a music so that you can enjoy as well. Let's play a new song, I believe. This is a good one. It's advertisement. Sorry, guys. Here we go.
Reminder, turn on your cameras, please. Dance along. Go ahead, Paji. Sorry. If you have your cameras off, turn them on so we can dance along if you're able to turn on your camera. Thank you.
And you might have seen that people doing this step a lot, like 1, 2. That's what we call, you just bring the upper variations in the upper body, and then you do it. You can move palms as well. Yeah, keep on doing. Legs high. That's good. So you can bring several variations in this one, like I brought this one. You keep legs like that. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You keep on bringing the upper body variation. And then this one, like 1, 2, 1, like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. A similar step we did on Luddi, like this one. Now can you do on simple Dhamaal? Okay. So let's keep going. It's already 8:30 here at the Central Time. So let's cover the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful and powerful steps in Bhangra. It is called Dhamaal 1. So let me give you the outline first. This step starts on the right leg on the ground, and then left leg in the air. So for kids or the beginners, you just hop 3 times on your foot and then switch. So like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But before I share you the step, I want to make a couple of comments. One is that in live Bhangra on Toll, that is called live Bhangra, dancers need to add response. And today I'm going to share response on these steps. And as we go through these different workshops, I will tell you what response you need to give on different steps. That is very, very important. as a part of Tol Bhangra. When we start simple, Dhamaal 1, it always starts with a squad. So like that. Hey, ha. That has got a single, just very simple. Sometimes people, they do like, hey, ha. So the response is, hey, ha. So, hey, ha. On that, I don't have the rhythm for the only for the squad, but I do have the rhythm for all the different Dhamaals. We used to do double squad too. So it is like, hey, ha. So it was a double squad you do. So once you land, you need to stand on your toe. Can everybody see my toe here? Good. So you stand on your toe. If you are a beginner, hold the ball and stand on your toe. Once you touch heel, that is your 1. Once you come on toe again, that is 2. And then you touch your heel, that is 3. And then you switch and repeat the process. Let me simple way explain you using hands. So think about that. This is your feet. You did the squat and you landed on your toes. So my fingers are my foot toes. And 1 is once you touch your palm, which is your heel. Once you come on the toe, that is 2. And once you go back on the heel, that is 3. And you repeat the process on the other foot. So again, simple. So here, 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. Heel, toe, heel. Heel, toe, heel. You land on the toe, heel, toe, heel. Heel, toe, heel. Heel, toe, heel. So 1, 2, 3. Remember this kind of abbreviation I use, HTH, heel, toe, heel. So that is the step, okay? If you see, most of the time people do Dhamaal 1, but in this, keeping the hands in this position, showing fingers. We used to do this way, like a coyote or wolf sign, not exactly the same, but middle finger and thumb joint, okay? So again, practice with me so that we can do it on toe. The same step, the video I shared with you, or the way I shared with you. So you stand on the toe, starting with the right leg on the ground, and 1, 2, 3. Hoi, 1, 2, 3. Hoi, 1, 2, 3. Hoi, 1, 2, 3. Hoi, hoi, 3. Hoi, 2, hoi. Any questions here before we do it on toe?
One thing I'll add while everyone's asking any questions, you can, to make it a little bit more difficult, and something like Gurinderbir does naturally, is you also can bend the knee a little bit as you're going with your foot. That gives you the down-up effect, right? So you can do the same step. Let's say you don't move your knee at all, and you just go like this. But if you add the bend of your knee as your leg is moving as well, then you get the little dip as well. It just adds a little flavor. I think for me, it becomes natural because it's easier to keep balance with bending the knee. But sometimes I've had some dancers who tried this and they forget about that and they have trouble. So maybe if that's difficult for balance for you, if you're doing the step, try making sure you're also having that little bend of the knee as you go up and down.
And if it feels difficult to you at the start, if you are a beginner, hop 3 times and gradually take the help of a wall to move your heel up and down so that you can get the feel of that. And once you get a good grip, because you need very strong legs for this, especially Dhamaal 1. That's what I feel. I did the same step 10 years ago in Lavesh studio. That was a completely different thing. I don't have that much strength now. But let's try it on a toe video just for a few seconds. Okay. Hoi! 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 this was a kind of a very sweet and slow beat played by my master. Let me show you. And another thing is that if you see the way I just did, I did not lean toward the diagonal side the way I did when I made the video. And this is kind of a more personal touch. You don't have to start with that. Just keep your shoulders shaking. Generally, on simple Dhamaal, I always say to kids, put your hands on the ears and stretch it out. But for Dhamaal 1, you keep it a little bit wider. And bring your chest out and go up and down so that you can show kind of some waves in your upper body, where you move your feet or foot, the heel and toe. Let me play another toe, Master Janpraji toe, and see that's relatively faster.
And again, if you have any questions, please type them in the comments. Remember also to move your shoulders. For those of you who are a little newer, do not forget the shoulder movement, the chest movement that goes with this step as well. It's one of my favorite steps in Bhangra, so I always like doing this one the most. But remember, always have the chest and the shoulders moving with your shoulders moving with the leg as well.
And another thing I would like to add here that I couldn't find, I'm sorry, any specific song where you can perform Dhamaal 1 with such a grace and energy, because it's a completely different step. If Lavesh, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay.
Not many, you're right, but there's a few out there.
Okay, I'll try later. First, let's try on the toe. Start. So this was another.
Any
Which
questions
one?
on the Dhamaal 1 or double Dhamaal, some people call as well? Any questions on this step? Ask away, please, in the chat.
And let me know if you want me to show one more time in the diagonal so that we can move on to Dhamaal 2 and Dhamaal 3. But make sure if you want to perform Bhangra for recreation, that is a different story. But if you really want to learn folk Bhangra and want to compete or in the different competitions, please have some strengthening exercises like push-ups, squats, running and other things. Well, biking will give, you can say definitely add some strength, but do some strengthening exercises so that you have enough strength, especially leg strength in Bhangra. Okay, so let me show one more time Dhamaal 1, or as Lesh said, Dhamaal 2. And if you don't have any question, then we will move on. This is a different beat. Lavesh, which song you shared with me?
This song is very fusion Bhangra, you can say, but it doesn't have a toll beat. But the rhythm, it's like Punjabi pop almost. But the rhythm is very good for double tamals. This tamal one, I like doing it to this song, so I can play it, or if you want, you can try it.
Did you play?
Yeah, let me get it here. 1 second. Here we go. Sorry. Can you hear okay? Freaking hand.
Good.
Yeah, it's different. Definitely not your toll beat, but it works with this step.
Why? Because most of the time, one thing I would like to share, and sometimes my kids do as well, they try to forcefully paste a step on a music. That's what I tell to them, that do not play with the grace of the step. Pick a different tempo music, tempo song, and you can say, otherwise you are going to kill that step. So that's why I said it's a very beautiful and powerful step. Mostly, I would say always I like to do this step on toe. So let's move on if we don't have any question. So Dhamaal 2. Dhamaal 2 is, okay. There's a question there, Lavesh.
Yes, I'll answer it. Yep, no problem.
Okay, got it. Perfect. So Dhamaal 2. So Dhamaal 2, again, I will show 3 variations on Dhamaal 2, maybe 4. So starting again with the simple Dhamaal leg movement. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, when most of the time people do, I will share it with you. You will see that first thing is don't never do this thing, and never cover your face. It should be just simply placing your hands on your elbows, and 90% people do this 1, 2, 3. But as per PAU agriculture standards, we always do this. No hand movement. Okay, just shoulder movement 3 times, and the response is hoy, hoy, hoy. So let me share here. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. Because when you have big shoulder movement and you add hands movement, you are kind of intercepting or kind of killing that, no, intercepting that with your shoulder movement. So I won't do the hands movement, generally what I teach to my kids. So this is the first variation. So 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. And the second variation is you do squat on 3, 4, 5. So we'll cover more in the squat chapter or squat workshop. So 1, 2, 3. So it will be 3, 4, 5 on this one. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. 1, 2, hoy, hoy, hoy. So that is the second variation. The third variation is where we do triple. We never did that, but I saw it so that I liked it. So triple step is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So on same thing, you do on 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So that is another variation. And the one variation that I showed in the video as well, it's just a kind of a personal touch. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We used to do in our 99 composition when we performed in 99. So these are the 4 variations. Let's try these 4 variations on toe and see how it goes. This is Dhamaal 1. And those who are learning Bhangra at kids stage, I would strongly recommend that please learn Bhangra on toe as well. Very important, very, very important. It's fine to learn Bhangra on music, but somehow the region I am in currently in Minnesota, I don't have many resources. I just have recorded toe that I found from my Master G. But please, it's my humble request to everyone, especially the new generation, please learn Bhangra on toe. Once you learn Bhangra on toe, you will be a different dancer in a good way. You will crush or add full grace and energy when you perform those steps on music. And it's my request. Any questions on Dhamaal 2?
Paji, one question was, can you show the last one where you bring your hands around one more time?
That, as I said, it's more personal, so it's so 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. 3, you go on the right side. 3, 4, 5. And you use your upper body as well, like here. 1, 2, 4. So one thing here, on 3 and 4, you will see when I do this thing, my leg folds. I change this from simple Dhamaal to different. So simple Dhamaal is 1, 2. When I do this, I fold my leg like a 3, 4, 5. But when I'm doing this one simple, I'm keeping my legs on 3 and 4 like a simple Dhamaal. So pay very close attention and see how the leg movement changes. Does it answer your question again? One more time. It's 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. But continuous shoulder movement, prominent shoulder movement is must. And bring your chest out when you do the squats, like 2, 3. Okay. Good. Should we move on?
Yep, I think we can move on, unless any other questions.
Let's cover Dhamaal 3. These were the 4 variations of Dhamaal 2. Let's do Dhamaal 3. I think I have 3 variations, maybe 4. So Dhamaal 3 is, so Dhamaal 1, the response was hoy. And when we do the squat, hey, ha. And Dhamaal 2, the response was hoy, hoy, hoy on 3, 4, 5. On Dhamaal 3, it's a different response on toe. So it's It's a kind of that type of a response I have shared with my kids on the 3 and 4. So here, first variation is 1, 2, and 3 is exactly behind, and 4 is, you make a 180 turn, and 4 is on the front. So again, 1 is diagonal, 2 is diagonal, 3 is like this on the back. So 3 and 4 is on the front. It is not on the diagonal. Just to make a note of that. First 2 diagonal, 3 exactly back with no legs hanging like that. Make sure that your leg is like that, feet is like that, and you bring 4 here. So 4 pieces. Arms stay in the air. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first variation. Second variation is a different leg movement on 3, and I believe 4 as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On 3, you make a L and fold your leg, left leg, and move, and 4 is on the front again. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this was the second variation. The third variation is, I use the example of aeroplane. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, that is where the response, you add the response. Make sense? You again fold your leg, 3, 4. And the fourth one is, it's pretty tricky. I saw it, one of my seniors, he was a very awesome dancer, he was the best dancer of his times. I'll try to do that because beat changes as well. I will show you how the beat changes. So 1, 2, you quickly move. Was there a different elevation in my movement? Was it quick on 3 and 4?
Yeah, you did 1 beat spin in 3 and then was already straight in 4 as well. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. It's faster third spin.
It's a faster. Yeah, third spin is faster. Exactly.
You showed me one back in the day that's almost hybrid of the 2 you did. I remember this one. It used to be 1, 2, 3, 4 as well. So you added extra arm movement. I remember this one long time ago you showed me, and then this got stuck for my chakri Dhamaal, third Dhamaal. Right? So it's like you add the extra turn of the hands as you go into 1 again.
Because with age I have forgotten several things, but thanks for reminding. But here's another, you can do that. I like this arm placement. So here's like a 1, 2, this placement. So the way you did, so that is another one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. But this one is, I haven't seen, last time I see this one going faster in 1996.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in not in long time, I don't think, since you showed me.
Let's cover some of these on top, the 4 different variations. And again, this response is on 3 and 4. Please, it may look funny to you first time, but it is not, because it is a part of the dance. When we perform Bhangra on toll, it is one of the requirements. It brings energy among dancers when they dance on the stage. It gives you an extra push as well. And it's a part of folk agriculture as well. Still Dhamaal too. So this was Dhamaal 3. So we covered Dhamaal, simple Dhamaal, Dhamaal 1, Dhamaal 2, Dhamaal 3. Any questions here? If you do this thing, I think for even for 10 minutes every day, that's a pretty good exercise.
Yeah, even 10 seconds. Doesn't look like any questions. Paji, do you have all those recordings in one track? If we can try them all together, if it's like continuous. If not, we can maybe do one recap of all of them.
I have a smaller version.
Sure. You can, yeah, mix all, and you don't have to do all the variations. You can do 4 or 5, you know, how many.
Yeah. Just make sure your recording is going on.
Yes, right now it shows it is. We have to trust Zoom.
Okay, let me try and find the smaller version. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. After this one, this is a Bhangra or patata. Now, oh! That was recap. Oh my.
Thank you, Paji. Anybody have any questions? Type them in the comments. Otherwise, that was our Luddi recap and Dhamaal workshop for the week. Let's see if there's any questions going.
And make sure you do stretching after that. Please. I'm going to do the same.
Yeah. It doesn't look like any questions at this time. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed. Glad you enjoyed, Renee. Thank you for joining. Paji, any last things? Otherwise, we can wrap it up. Unless you have any last things you want to add.
If you have any questions, please ask Lavesh and he can forward those questions to me. So, learn Pangdanto, please. That's my only request. So, yeah, if you get a chance, there are some people, another comment I would like to make, that you don't have to go to any academy if you don't have an academy nearby you. Sometimes you look into the society you are living. For instance, I'm living in Minnesota. Somebody met me in the park, and then he's one of the parents of my kids, and he pushed me to start this thing. He said that, okay, you have something shared with. So look for such type of people. There are lots of people who have learned Pangdanto. They may be living around you. Just look for that and go for that. Sometimes the society we live in, we don't go for these things. But when I was where I grew up, and I always look for these teachers, and we were kind of standing at their doors with folded hands, that please teach this art to us, please. It is very important. Once you have this art, it will live with you forever, and you can pass it on to next generation. Okay, I can speak forever, but thank you so much again, and you have a wonderful evening. And we'll see you in the next workshop. God bless.